Shoshana and Shauna. So far, the sheriff's department has identified at least a dozen victims, primarily in Malibu. She targets older, wealthy men, gains their trust, then burglarizes their homes.
There's so many victims at this point, it's kind of hard to put a dollar amount, but she does take valuables, she does take cash, she has used credit cards.
She's appeared in Penthouse, Playboy New Zealand, and claims to be the first top Israeli OnlyFans model and is known to drive a Porsche and a Mercedes. This high-rise on Olympic and Ardmore in Koreatown is her last known address. This is her appearing on Michael Sartain's podcast Access Vegas. Sartain says Mia has been a fixture for many years at LA and Vegas clubs and charity events. During this taping, she allegedly stole money and credit cards from the female panelists. The charges were later tracked at a Beverly Hills salon to pay for pricey hair extensions.
We want to get as many victims as possible to come forward, and at that point, the case will be put together and the appropriate charges filed.
And according to the sheriff's department, they say this woman is currently out on bond, not believed to be a flight risk, and they say she is currently in the LA area. I'm Lena Bovin here in Koreatown, KTLA 5 News.
A number of burglary suspects under arrest tonight after detectives found them hiding out on a 7th-floor balcony while they served a search warrant. Police say 6 suspects linked to a South American theft group burglarized a home back in June. When they searched their apartment, they recovered stolen jewelry, cash, handbags. Detectives found the stolen goods were taken in at least 5 different burglaries. The suspects were booked for residential burglary and receiving stolen property.
Sky 5 was overhead just a short time ago as police and EMTs responded to a triple shooting in Sun Valley. 3 teenagers were reported shot just after 5:30 at an apartment complex at Arminta and Vineland. The teens between the ages of 16 and 18 were transported to a hospital, and we do not currently know their conditions. Police say the male suspect is wearing all black and fled the scene down Vineland Avenue.
The judge has temporarily rejected a request by State Attorney General Rob Bonta to place L.A. County's juvenile detention facilities into a receivership, citing youth-on-youth violence and drug overdoses. The judge says the state has not exhausted all remedies to bring Los Padrinos and Barry Nydorf juvenile halls into compliance with earlier court mandates. A hearing will be held later this month to determine whether the county should be held in contempt for failing to adhere to prior judgments.
3 additional fatal overdoses have been confirmed in LA County associated with the synthetic compound kratom, known also as 7-0 or gas station heroin. Those fatal overdoses have impacted residents between the ages of 18 and 40 and brings the total local deaths tied to the substance to 6. Kratom, an herbal medicine, comes from evergreen tree leaves in Southeast Asia and has opioid and stimulant effects. Authorities warn the drug can lead to psychosis in high doses.
We are following developing news in Tennessee, where at least 19 people are missing and presumed dead after a devastating explosion leveled a military munitions plant this morning. That plant primarily manufactures explosives for the Army and Navy, everything from landmines to C4.
Local leaders say the damage is some of the worst they've ever seen. KTLA's Corrine Winter has the latest.
The latest from authorities, at least 19 people either missing or dead following a powerful blast that shook homes miles away.
Central to city fire, central to all city fire. Need to get en route to accurate arms.
A burning field of metal and debris following a deadly blast at this military explosives manufacturing plant in Tennessee.
City fire, just be advised. We have been advised there's a gas line on fire and there's about 12 people that are unaccounted for as of right now.
The emergency call involved a disaster at Accurate Energetic Systems, which makes and tests explosives, commercial and military grade, at an 8-building facility. The plant sitting on more than 1,300 acres.
We do have 19 souls. That we're looking for. So, excuse me, I ask you to keep in mind those families.
Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis also said while the scene is now secure, the search for possibly more victims continues beneath the charred buildings. Davis said smaller secondary explosions that followed the initial powerful explosion made it dangerous for first responders to enter the plant, delaying search efforts.
It felt like something just hit the house. It just rocked.
The ATF and FBI are handling the investigation to determine a cause. Numerous agencies, including a bomb squad unit, are also combing the scene. The sheriff said it's unclear if this explosion was accidental.
Some people have been hospitalized for injuries from this blast. They've temporarily halted operations at the plant. That's the very latest in the news center. I'm Corinne Winter, sending it back to you now in the studio.
After more than 2 years of war, Israel and Hamas have begun a ceasefire brokered by the Trump administration. Likely starting this weekend, Hamas has agreed to release all 20 living hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. The Israeli military will also begin a withdrawal from the majority of Gaza. This is only the first phase of the ceasefire agreement. President Trump says he is confident it will be successful. First Lady Melania Trump has announced 8 children displaced by the Russia-Ukraine war have been reunited with their families. In August, the First Lady wrote to Russian President Putin calling for peace in Ukraine. Today, Trump said Putin responded in writing, and the two established an open channel of communication regarding the welfare of children in the region.
The Dow down almost 900 points after President Trump reignited his trade war with China, threatening a 100% tariff on imports starting November 1st. This as Trump said China should, quote, not be allowed to hold the world captive over rare earth mineral exports. Trump also appeared to cancel a planned meeting with Chinese President Xi, where the leaders were expected to announce a trade deal.
The San Diego man is in custody after allegedly threatening to kill conservative podcaster Benny Johnson and his children. 69-year-old George Isbell Jr. reportedly sent a letter to Johnson's home which referenced Charlie Kirk. It called for Johnson to be, quote, exterminated, accusing him and his, quote, fellow white MAGA podcasters of being racists and pedophiles.
President Trump announced a deal with AstraZeneca to lower Medicaid drug costs. The company will match the lowest prices in other developed nations, saving taxpayers millions, and invest $50 billion in U.S. research and development and manufacturing over the next 5 years. This follows last week's similar deal with Pfizer.
With the government shutdown in its 10th day, the Trump administration says it has begun substantial layoffs of federal workers. The director of the Office of Management and Budget posting online the reduction in force has begun. A court filing suggests 4,200 workers were laid off today. The union representing 820,000 federal workers says a lawsuit has already been filed.
A criminal indictment is reportedly expected against former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton as soon as next week. This, according to reporting by MSNBC, citing an unnamed source. The possibility and the possible charges are related to claims Bolton improperly kept classified national security information at his home. The charges would follow indictments against Trump foes James Comey and Letitia James.
She had become an unlikely beacon of sports passion known to legions of basketball fans. Sister Jean Dolores Schmidt has died. She became an icon during Loyola Chicago's improbable Cinderella run to the Final Four in 2018. Sister Jean joined the staff at Loyola Chicago in 1991 and transitioned to become the team's chaplain in 1994. She stepped down from that role back in August due to her health. Sister Jean was 106 years old.
What a life.
What a life.
Yeah, 106.
Yeah.
We all wish for something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Much more still ahead on the news at 7.
Governor Newsom signs controversial housing legislation